I also think it's really cool. If you look behind me right now, it looks super chaotic, but I have my dog and my family and notes from people that have inspired me. And I love llamas. So my girlfriend sent a llama picture, and I get bored and I need things to do. So people always say, Abby, what is behind you? It is hysterical to be like, well, when I go to conferences, I can't sit still and I can't listen. So I love, prior to the pandemic, when you would go to a conference and they would have like widgets, and this is a beautiful pipe cleaner.
I love it. A little bouquet.
Right? But like when you and I got on, I was like, oh my gosh, look at all your artwork.
Yeah.
Maybe you're going to have, a Philadelphia Eagles pennant up, and you are really into football and you're like, oh, Abby, I think the Eagles suck. Well, good. This is going to have a healthy conversation. As long as you're not a Dallas fan, we can talk. But like, and if there's any Dallas fans listening to this, you're still loved. But like, these are how we make connections. And then through those connections, I think it's having little chats. Like, you're on Zoom and you can tell, and let's be honest, you can tell when somebody's paying attention on a virtual platform or not, right? You know when somebody hasn't looked up for 7 minutes that they're on Amazon buying something, or they're scrolling on social media. Yeah. I also love when people are like this, and you hear the clicking, because somebody's clicking through emails. So when you see somebody maybe disengaged that you've created that relationship with, like, hey, I know the Eagles are playing on Sunday. Are you going to watch the game? How are you? Well, we haven't talked. Sending those little messages. But I really want to encourage, we don't have to be best friends with somebody to do these things. We don't have to be close colleagues with somebody to do these things. We could maybe know somebody for 2 months and have weekly meetings with them, but the last 3 meetings, their cameras have been off. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's sending them an email or calling them. Really, original idea, right? We don't call anybody anymore. Maybe it's calling them and saying, hey, Kelsey, I am so glad that we're on the same team. I would love to talk with you more about our work, because, you've been here long and you really have impressed me. I've seen you on the meetings, but your camera hasn't been on. Is everything okay? So when we want to have these conversations that can feel really overwhelming, because maybe all of you are good at being intrusive. I'm not so good at being intrusive. I've been intrusive, and I've gotten yelled at for it. I've gotten scolded, like, why would you ever ask me these things? So coming up with a way to start a conversation can feel like an elephant, right? Like it's this huge, huge thing. But taking very, very simple equation of, we're going to take a statement of gratitude. I'm so glad you're on my team. It's great to learn from you. Maybe you don't like the person on your team, but they're super stylish and you love their jewelry. Hey, I just wondered where you get your jewelry. You always look so great on camera. And then giving them a statement of something you've noticed, but I haven't seen you on camera lately, equals a very clear question. Is everything okay? Yeah. And what I love about this, at NAMI, when we do trainings to talk about how to communicate with your loved one, or how to have a hard conversation, or how to ask somebody if they're suicidal, we use this statement. And I love that it can be for anything. And it can be for somebody you're really close with. Like when my nephew was really struggling and I had to ask if he was suicidal, this is the statement I used, because when we have these conversations, especially when we really care about somebody, it can feel daunting. Yeah. But this can also be done with somebody that you go to yoga with. It's always put together at yoga and does all this. I don't do yoga, but does all the poses really well. And maybe they haven't been at yoga for a month. And when they come in, they don't look like they did before. You can't quite put your finger on it. But hey, Abby, I haven't seen yoga. I really missed you. You always inspire me to try, because I'm not very good. Have you been okay? Like, you can have these conversations with anybody by using this tiny little equation.